Hey, Minimum Effort here, and today I've been playing in the Golden Gauntlet 2 Marvel Snap tournament. So in this video, I'm just going to kind of talk to you about the deck that I brought to the tournament. I'm going to kind of talk you through what kind of my expectations were for the tournament itself. I'll detail some of the games I played to you, and then at the end I'll just talk about what I kind of took away from the tournament overall. Spoiler alert, all very positive. Really loved the experience of it. So yeah, let's get to the deck that I played. So starting with Mercury, because Mercury is obviously one of the new cards that came out this week, one of many, and I really liked the Mercury Cannonball combination because, as I found in kind of testing all the decks in preparation for this tournament, that is a lane winner. And so I thought about a deck that I could put with those two cards to think, okay, what can I do to guarantee, hopefully guarantee, one other lane that I can win? And so I went with kind of a Storm, War Machine, Legion, but also Jean Grey deck, with a few cards that can move, and some tech in Shang-Chi and Enchantress. So yeah, so this was the deck I chose. In hindsight, obviously hindsight's a wonderful thing, this was probably the wrong deck for this tournament, and the reason for that is Merlin, and we'll get to Merlin later, not a problem at all. But yeah, just to kind of talk through this deck. So Zabu is here because in our deck we have Shang-Chi, we have Enchantress, and we have War Machine. Those are key cards that if we can get their costs down to 3, that is excellent. Also, if they can be hit by Surge, who is one of our next cards, that would be great too. So yeah, Zabu is here exclusively to get those cards costs reduced. Ebony Maw, because if you are playing War Machine, you have a 1/7 that you can play whenever you like, not just on turns 1, 2, or 3. Often I was kind of holding on to Ebony Maw if I have a War Machine in hand, because I know I can drop them at any time, especially if turn 6 you have the Cannonball Mercury combo and you can drop Ebony Maw in another lane, whichever lane you need to hopefully win the game. So yeah, Ebony Maw turned out to be good in this deck. Mercury, again for kind of moving, for location control, but also obviously for that Cannonball combo, which is, as I said, a real lane winner. Really liked this combo. We had Surge, just to kind of get our cards cheaper, more powerful. Surge is one of the best cards in the game. Again, we'll get more about Surge later. I had Jeff, again, just for that extra movement, because if you play Jeff and Mercury into the Jean Grey lanes, if your other lanes then aren't looking that good and your opponent has put more power than you in the Jean Grey lane, you could just move those cards out to other lanes once that lane is filled. Sorry, yeah, you can play your cards into Jean Grey to fill that lane, play your cards then elsewhere because that lane is filled, and then move your cards out of the Jean Grey lane to where you need them to be. So yeah, Jeff was pretty good. Yeah, probably could have been maybe something else because you've already got movement control with Mercury. And yeah, Jeff was okay. Jeff is okay. He's an okay card, isn't he? He's not that great anymore, but yeah, he's Jeff. Storm, very good card in this deck. Obviously, yeah, hitting that Storm War Machine Legion combo, really good, really strong. And again, with the kind of majority of decks that were in the tournament, yeah, this variation of this deck probably wasn't the right way to go, but in kind of different metas, this deck, I believe in this deck. I think this could be definitely something here, and Storm is a major part of that. Again, Jean Grey, if you don't see Storm, you can play Jean Grey and kind of force your opponents where to play. And yeah, there was a lot of times where Jean Grey was very useful. But she probably it's probably Jean Grey and Jeff that are cards 11 and 12 in this deck, but Jean Grey certainly played her part in winning some games for me. And then yeah, obviously Shang-Chi, power must be controlled. Enchantress, I kind of predicted there will be a lot of ongoing cards in the tournament, and yeah, we'll get to kind of the cards that were played the most later. War Machine, obviously, to give us that ability to play cards wherever we want to. If you didn't have Storm, obviously you could play Jean Grey and then War Machine into the Jean Grey lane, and then you don't have to worry about playing into the Jean Grey lane anymore. You can play your cards where you want to, and that works very nicely as well. Legion, obviously, for that combo, as well as the option of just trying to scam your opponents. There is one Legion play in particular that I want to talk to you about later. It was very interesting, and it was probably one of my most memorable moments in Marvel Snap. But yeah, I'll get to that. And then Cannonball, of course, going for the Cannonball Mercury combo, winning that lane, absolutely brilliant. But also, if you don't have Mercury in hand, having that option just to kind of move a powerful card out of that lane to win it. And sometimes it's a 50-50 where that card goes, but more often than not, if your opponent's playing a lot of cards and they're filling lanes, it destroys the card anyway. So that is certainly a help, and that's why Cannonball's so good in this deck. So yeah, that's the deck. So yeah, as I was talking about, the meta at the moment is very kind of Merlin heavy, and what that means is that I was it's weird, I was expecting this tournament to have a lot of Cerebro, because no one I play, there's a lot of Cerebro there, and it's a very popular deck. Cerebro in tournament settings might be a bit different, because obviously you need that kind of Cerebro. You need to hit Cerebro in every game, basically, in however many games to win the match. So maybe Cerebro decks aren't the right choice for a tournament. I did play against a Cerebro deck, but yes, I was kind of expecting that, so I thought, okay, location control, War Machine, Enchantress, excuse me, Enchantress to kind of take out Cerebro as well as we can, as well as other decks that we're looking to kind of hit with Enchantress. And yeah, so yeah, I was expecting more mid-range kind of tempo decks, and I thought, you know what, if I play a few of those in this deck, I'm probably going to get to those. But yeah, obviously in hindsight, with Merlin being one of the most popular cards at the moment, Merlin in particular is bad for this deck, because if you're playing Jean Grey, but you have a Merlin spell you can play into that lane every turn, and you can play other cards elsewhere. So it wasn't the best matchup for this deck. But I like this deck. I think there's probably a bit of tweaking that could be done to make it better. But I really liked it. I loved playing it, and yeah, I was very happy with how it performed in the tournament. So yeah, let's get to the tournament itself. So yeah, going into this tournament, I really had only two hopes to kind of get out of this tournament. The first hope is that it was fun. I've never played in a gaming tournament before. Obviously the commitment to being available to play for what was 7 hours of the day is a big commitment, especially for me, because I am a father, married, 2 kids. We'll talk about those later as well. But yes, it's a big commitment to give up 7 hours of your day for this. Obviously, I love playing this game, so get to play this for 7 hours. Fantastic, I'll take that very much, thank you. But yeah, I wanted it to be fun. I wanted the experience to be something that was enjoyable. Obviously, you're not going to be playing for constantly 7 hours, but what could you do in that time to make it fun? And also, do you know what? I had a hope that I would play against a top level player and just try and test myself against them and see how we get on. And more on that later. So yeah, so in the tournament, I won 2 games and lost 5 games. I'm very happy with that. Do you know what? I'll take it. In the standings, I'm not sure if you can see it very well here, but it's out of 869 competitors, I've been ranked 316. 316. Steve Austin likes this. So yeah, 1, 2, lost 5. I'm happy with that. I'll take that. So yeah, to talk through some of the games that I played. So, round 1, I played against yours true Bigger. Managed to win 6-0. Excuse me. And yeah, so he was playing a Esme Cuckoo Anti-Venom Tribunal deck, which is a fun deck. Like, I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, I can see exactly what he's trying to do with this deck. My deck was perfectly countered for this, that kind of mid-range tempo deck, with ongoing, with Enchantress to counter that, and kind of location control with my cards. And that worked really well. I managed to win 6-0. There was one game in particular that I nearly threw. That's the game that I lost, but if I snapped on that because I thought I would win it. and then he didn't snap, so he only won the 4 cubes. But what happened was he played Esme Cuckoo early to copy one of his cards, and then he had, I think he played Jubilee and got Living Tribunal on the board. So I was like, okay, I've got Enchantress in hand, I can see what he's trying to do, and because I was playing Jean Grey into the Tribunal lane, I was trying to encourage him to go for the Iron Man Onslaught combination in that lane, as well as also having kind of location control with Storm turning off Magic's turn 6. I did that a few times in the game, that worked really nicely. So yeah, but in this game in particular, I played my Enchantress, countered what he had played, and I'd move my cards into what I thought was winning positions. But the Esme Cuckoo copy card was Living Tribunal, which he played on the final turn into another lane and won because of his power. So that was an example of Esme Cuckoo actually doing some really good work, and obviously being an unexpected bonus for him to be able to play that card in a separate lane that wouldn't get Enchantress. So that was a very good play by them. But yeah, overall, with the deck I was playing, I was just able to counter what they were doing and do what I wanted to do. And Enchantress was really good for that. And then we come to game 2. Game 2 will, for me, be one of my favourite moments from Marvel Snap. So what happened was, I got paired against Crazy Maxim. I was like, okay, cool. Now, I'm aware of a lot of the big players in Marvel Snap. I watch Snap Judgments every day. I'm aware of who the main deck builders are, the main players in the game. So if you're kind of a known entity in the game, I know who they are, and obviously I would look out for them. So I got matched with this guy, and I was like, oh, Crazy Maxim, oh, Crazy. There's a guy called Crazy from the FAK stable in the game, who's a very well-known player, deck builder, does really well. So I was like, oh, okay, it'd be cool if it was him. Ha ha ha. Got into the game, saw his screen name was Crazy, clicked on his profile, FAK. I'm playing against FAK Crazy. Shit. So, after fangirling a bit, in which I'll show you my Blue Sky post that I made about it. I said, me, if you play against a well-known player, just be cool. Also me, my words to him were, as we were chatting kind of before the game, I said, thank you and good luck to you. And then after realising who it was, in all caps, holy shit, it's FAK Crazy. To which he said, yeah, it's me. So yeah, so I played a game against FAK Crazy. As you will see, he beat me 9-0. Now, what happened in this game? Game 1, he retreated because he was playing Cerebro 2. So he didn't get the Cerebro out, he retreated. Game 2, he had more cards on the board than I did, but Cerebro wasn't in play. He had snapped though, so Cerebro was in his hand for sure. On turn 5, one of the locations that was played was Central Park, and so I played Legion onto Central Park to get more squirrels on the board in each location. Now, he had 2 Jeffs on the board as well. I think he had 1 Jeff from hand, and then I think one of the other locations copied instead of drawing the last card, maybe. I think that's what it was. So he had 2 Jeffs on the board, but he only had space to move 1 Jeff and then play 1 card. Now, I had Enchantress in my hand, so I know he's playing Cerebro, and he probably thinks I've got Enchantress. Or actually, now speaking to him afterwards, he thought I had Cannonball, and so that explained why he did what he did. But basically, it was a 50-50 for me playing Enchantress and stopping the Cerebro and winning the game. Now, I am not one of the best players in the world, as I will explain further on in this video. I'm not one of the best players in the world. He is. I had a chance to go 8 cubes and probably, hopefully, win the game against one of the best players in the world. I kind of saw the lights, saw my name up in lights and thought, you know what? I might never get to do this again. I'm going to go for it. So it was a 50-50 between the 2 lanes. I thought he would move the Jeff. I thought he'd move the 1 Jeff from the lane that he was winning because then he could play Cerebro into that lane. Jeff would go into another lane and get that power from Cerebro and win that lane. But what he did instead was he played it in the other lane. So it was a 50-50. He played it in that lane because he thought I was playing Cannonball, and then that would give him more power in the other lanes. So he would win that way. And he did. And it was just one of those moments for me. It was just like, oh, it was a 50-50 against a top player. I got it wrong, but you know what? I would do that all over again. There was a moment where I was like, I could just retreat. I could just, see it out. But overall, in a conquest game, he would beat me anyway. So I thought, you know what? I'll go for it. It didn't pay off, but it was really exciting. And I wish I'd recorded it. The reason I didn't get to record my gameplay is because this is obviously a Saturday that we're playing on. I've got 2 kids, and the weather today has been awful. So my kids have been at home, and they have not been on their best behaviour. So when it came to recording the games, it wouldn't have been good content, because all you would hear is kids playing, arguing, screaming in the background. Not what you really want to hear. So unfortunately I didn't get to play it, but I really wish I'd recorded it, because it was a really exciting game. And just, something for me personally that, you know what, even though I didn't get that moment, I will remember that. That's very fun for me. So yeah, I'll take that. So yeah, round 3. Now, round 3, on the Discord, I wasn't involved in it a lot, because in between games I'm kind of checking on the kids, doing stuff around the house while waiting for the next round of games to start. And yeah, so in the chat we were discussing the deck list, the popularity of the cards that have been chosen for the tournament, and it was noted that one player had chosen Agatha Harkness. And round 3, I played against the Agatha Harkness deck. Now, like, if you've subscribed to my channel, you'll know that recently I've done an Agatha Harkness deck, of which this was very similar. This particular deck that my opponent was playing more where I had the Black Bolt, Stature, Cannonball combo there. They were running Claw and Iron Man as well. So obviously, because I've got Enchantress in my deck, I thought, you know what, I'm actually quite well stacked against this deck, because I have Enchantress for that, and I have Shang-Chi. I've got good tech for that, and I've got options to get good power on the board, and kind of, obviously, with Cannonball as well, destroy stuff too. But yeah, this guy also had Spider-Ham in his deck, and every single Spider-Ham hit he got was to the exact card that I wanted. Whether he'd played Ghost Rider, brought back Agatha after discarding her, he would Spider-Ham my Shang-Chi. If I had, I actually had Enchantress and Shang-Chi in hand after a Zabu hit, so I could have used Enchantress on the Ebony Blade, which was used on Agatha Harkness, and I could have destroyed that, as well as then doing something else on the final turns. So yeah, but he Spider-Hammed my Enchantress, so I couldn't do that either. So yeah, he got very good hits from his card. He had Moon Knight as well. I think he discarded Shang-Chi for me as well, once or twice. And yeah, I just couldn't get the combinations that I wanted. And it was a real shame for me, because I thought, actually, this is the kind of tempo deck where you have Storm and Jean Grey, where you're kind of forcing them to play on curve into those locations. But obviously, while trying to do your gameplay in other areas. But it just didn't happen. This guy absolutely battered me, and I think he made it to the next round of games tomorrow, and I wish him well, because he was a good guy in Discord all day, and yeah, he played really well, so he deserved that win. And then yeah, round 4 I played against an Agent Venom Havoc deck, and again, my deck's not suited to play this, because they have a lot of low cost cards, and obviously they're able to kind of play into Jean Grey and then play out of Jean Grey with the cards they have. And if I played Storm at any time, they played almost inevitably Havoc into that lane, or Thena, and they just kept proccing it, and I didn't have enough power that I could move into that lane without War Machine. So yeah, they played it really well. I managed to get a few cubes off of them. They won 4-0. But that in particular, they hit Agent Venom on turn 2 in almost every single game. And if it wasn't on turn 2, it was on turn 3. And like, playing the game, I've never seen anything like it. It's just like getting that key card for your deck on those early turns every single time. And I couldn't deal with it. It was too much for me. I couldn't deal with it. But I tried. I gave it a go. 4-0. That's how it goes sometimes. I'll take that. So yeah, round 5, I played against Merlin Agamotto. Again, with Merlin in particular, and those 1-cost spells, trying to play Jean Grey against that, it's not going to work because they've got energy and they've got cards that they can play, and it just countered my deck really well. I didn't stand a chance really. It was 9-0. I think there were games in there that I was retreating a lot because I thought I've got to try and hold out for games where I can win, but it didn't happen. It was too much. But yeah, that's a really good deck in general, and yeah, my deck wasn't ready for it. And then yeah, game 6, I was playing against a Misery Death deck, played by the Real Balder, and yeah, managed to win. My deck worked very well against that. Again, that's the kind of that tempo deck that works really well. And yeah, being able to kind of choose where they were playing and then I could get my combos out happened more in this game. So that worked really well. They didn't really have any counters for what I was doing, which obviously that makes it better for me. And then yeah, round 7 I played against the Thanos deck, and again, similar to Merlin, having all those low cost options, as well as Reality Zone to turn off your storm locations, and Thanos that you could play wherever you wanted. I did really well when kind of shutting down the Soul Stone, and the stone that stops him being able to be played anywhere with Enchantress. I shut that down well enough with Enchantress and what I was trying to do, but they just had too much power elsewhere. I wasn't expecting to see a lot of Thanos. Obviously, this was the one Thanos deck that I played. But yeah, they just had too much for me. So yeah, I went 2-5 and finished 316th out of 869 people. I'll take that. That's above halfway. I'm happy with that. Yeah, nearly top 300. That's good for me. So I was going to talk through as well the most popular cards that were chosen. So of course the most popular child was Shang-Chi. 369 players picked him. Surge was next, 324. I expect that because Surge is an excellent card. It was in my deck, and he just fits really well in all decks. Red Guardian, 287 in 3rd. And then Merlin was in 4th place with 279. So yeah, Merlin is obviously a very strong card right now. And then yeah, Enchantress was next, 241. And then Galacta, Zabu, Wiccan, Mobius, Eliath. Hawkeye Kate Bishop was quite highly ranked as well, in 11th. I find that quite strange. I've not seen a lot of Hawkeye Kate Bishop lately, but I think that probably goes well with Merlin maybe, and kind of using those spells on those cards. But yeah, it was kind of interesting to see. Like I said, I was expecting to see a lot of Cerebro. Cerebro was quite far down this list, I think. So yeah, it was Cerebro, yeah. 80th was the 80th most popular card chosen. I thought there'd be a lot of Cerebro. That's why I kind of set my deck up to play against. So yeah, it's interesting to see. Thanos was also still, even with the nerf, 16th most popular card, and I played against a Thanos deck, and obviously a lot of people probably would have chosen that too. But yeah, I always like this. It's very interesting to see the kind of cards that you think, what cards have been chosen the most, but also like what cards haven't been chosen. Like I said, there was one Agatha Harkness player that I played against, and yeah, like there wasn't a lot of like Fanfei, which I thought there'd be a lot of move. Fanfei was only chosen by one player. Leader has kind of dropped out of competitive play, and then yeah, so the rest of these cards are as expected, these lower cost, lower used cards. But yeah, it was very interesting to see cards that have been played and kind of the decks that have been played. So yeah, in hindsight, I would have liked to have chosen a different deck, and should there be another tournament, I'll lean a bit more into that and try to choose a deck that's a bit more focused on playing against the meta, but is one that I've built myself, which is what I definitely wanted to play in this tournament. So yeah, I had a lot of fun playing in the tournament, and yeah, my main kind of takeaways from this tournament about kind of the tournament setup itself. Um, Obviously, yeah, it's 7 hours. It's a big commitment to play one game every hour, with every round hopefully lasting that long. There was one round in particular that lasted for well over an hour. I think there were technical issues that the mods were trying to sort out. I think they had to restart that game. But yeah, it does add to the obviously time waiting around to kind of play the game, and obviously people being in different time zones all around the world all makes a difference to those people. Obviously, I'm lucky that I'm in the UK. This happened 3 p.m. till 10 p.m., which is fine for me. Yeah, it works really well. But yeah, obviously not everyone has got that same luxury, and yeah, the wait to finish the games can be a bit long, and that's not the fault of obviously the tournament creators and the people who are doing it. They did a fantastic job. I was on kind of Discord in between games, kind of checking in with everyone, and the mods were absolutely brilliant. Like, a massive shout out to them for having to deal with all the questions that people had to ask, being able to answer them quickly, point them in the right places. Being asked the same questions over and over and over and over and over must have been very tiresome, but they dealt with it superbly, and it was just really well handled. But yeah, my only issue is with Conquest itself, because if you're playing against someone, the only way you can play against someone for these tournament games is in Conquest, and Conquest needs to be shorter. I'm begging you, Second Dinner, I'm begging you, at the very least, make it first to 8 cubes, because then that makes snapping that bit more important, and it also makes it a bit more exciting. I think, like, if it's an 8 cube game, you know you'll win or lose, it makes it a bit more exciting, I think, to play it. And yeah, I mean, there's times, I'm sure we've all played it in Conquest, where you win an 8 cuber and then your opponent kind of keeps playing, and it's just like, well, it's going to take forever if you do win every game to kind of for you to get back into it. It should just be over. It should just be 8 cubes and done. I think that would be an ideal place to start, because we love Marvel Snap. We love the quickness of it, being able to play these quick games and get them done. But in tournament kind of formats, it's just a bit too much to ask, I think, for people who are giving up their time to play it, obviously. And yeah, we know it's a big commitment. There are like over 800 players in this tournament. It's very hard to get everyone to fit in to a tournament setup, and it's just Conquest in particular. I don't play a lot of Conquest because I know it's an ordeal. I do it to get the rewards, and then I dip out and I stay on ladder. But yeah, I think if they could fix Conquest, make it a bit more easy to play, make it a bit quicker, I just think it would be more fun. It's another fun thing for the game to do. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this recap that I've kind of given of my day in the tournament. Yeah, it's been really good. I strongly advise anyone who's interested in doing it, just sign up for it, give it a go and play. I'm sure you will enjoy it. Like, the first guy that actually played it was his first time playing in a tournament, and he was on Discord throughout, just like having fun, learning, playing the game, speaking to people about the game. It was a lot of fun, and I really recommend doing it if you can. So yeah, thank you for listening. Please subscribe to the channel. I'll bring you at least one deck video every week. Often it will be multiple more decks for you to play. But yeah, please subscribe so that you don't miss out. Thanks very much for watching, and cheers, and good luck to everyone who's made it to day 2. Good luck to you all. Cheers, bye.